Well, good evening, everyone. Hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving. We, of course, are tracking some rain and snow moving into the picture this Thanksgiving. Probably not a blockbuster as far as big snow events, at least along the coastal plain. We'll get some heavy rainfall there, but there will be some spots that get over a half foot of snow. That will be primarily back through the hills and mountains. But we do have heavy rain. We do have heavy snowfall. And the time frame that will be worse on the roads is probably afternoon and early evening. All right, let's take a look at what we have. Let's start you off right now with our timing, of course, with our Thanksgiving storm. First flakes, first raindrops, 9 a.m. to noon. So it's starting to move into the region first around 9 a.m. over southern western areas, getting into maybe, central Maine, probably late morning, midday or so. Heaviest precipitation along the coastal plain, heavy rainfall. Inland areas, heaviest snowfall is going to be 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. It's also in that window that we're going to see that rain snow line crash down toward the coastline. So coastal areas will probably end with some wet snow, but during the day, during the daylight hours, I don't anticipate any snow for coastal areas. That will be farther inland. We'll touch on that in a minute. Looks like the back edge of that rain and snow moves out between 9 p.m. and midnight. Friday's a better day. If you're traveling Friday, we're in pretty good shape. Now, rainfall amounts along the coastline are going to be pretty respectable. This is your snowfall estimate, but as far as rainfall amounts, we're probably talking an inch to an inch and a quarter of just rain alone. So this is going to be a pretty sizable rain event. It was just last week we were begging for rain, right? We wanted for the fire danger and the drought conditions, and this will help with that, of course. So we're getting back on track with an active pattern here. But as far as amounts go, let's take a look at our snowfall amounts here. We'll take a look at this again coming up in another minute or so. But the immediate coastline, York County, coastal Cumberland County, is really south of South Portland. I don't think we're going to see anything as far as accumulating. You might get some big, fat, wet snowflakes, those flakes the size of waffles late in the day. But I don't think it'll accumulate. That will be across the peninsulas and islands as well. It's probably a coating to 2 inches from maybe Freeport, Falmouth, Yarmouth, all the way back into interior York County. Maybe Sanford gets into that, going back towards Buxton, Gorham, maybe the extreme east side of Sebago Lake. And then as we go into southern parts of Kennebec County, Midcoast, Maine, where we get to the 2 to 4, I think Lewiston, Auburn, Augusta gets into that, maybe the upper end of that region there. As we go across Sebago Lake region, you're in the 2 to 4 inch range. Now, those totals are going to go up as you go back towards Bridgeton, perhaps here. So Bridgeton, Freiburg, you get the fishtail right there in Cumberland County. We'll probably see that ramp up to 4 to 8 inches there. And that goes up to northern Androscoggin County towards Livermore, perhaps. Jay, Wilton area, those areas should get into the 4 to 8. And that extends over towards Freiburg, Conway area. The jackpot where it's not quite as pasty and heavy, or it's a little fluffier, will be in the mountains here, going through the White Mountains of New Hampshire and back through the Western Mountains of Maine. There'll be spots here that get a half foot to a foot of snow out of this one. So that's what we're thinking for snowfall amounts. You're playing with fire when you're dealing with an inch and a quarter of precipitation with a rain snow line that's waffling over inland areas. So I can almost guarantee somewhere that's going to bust a little bit, but that's my best estimate of how it's going to go down. Weather Service is pretty close to that camp. Winter weather advisory is up areas in purple, winter storm warnings. They are up areas in pink. The way to think of it, winter storm warnings are in the area that we have our greatest chance for getting a half foot of snow or more. Now, the storm system is in its infant stages. It doesn't look too impressive right now. It's the area of low pressure moving through the Midwest, and that's going to traverse just south of us tomorrow night. It'll be right in here, and it's close enough to us that it's going to bring some heavy precipitation, but it's far enough just to the south that it's going to keep some cold air locked into the north. So let's track this out together. There it is right there. As it approaches tomorrow morning, there's a sharp rain snow line. Wind probably won't be too much of an issue. We'll get some gusts around 20 to 30 miles per hour. And in areas that get the heavy wet snow, even 4 inches of snow, there may be some scattered outages tomorrow night as some of the heavier wet snow kind of weighs down some of the tree limbs. But I don't think it's going to be a widespread issue as far as outages go. But there it is, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We're in some of the heaviest here. Heaviest rain, heaviest snow is late afternoon, early evening. That's the worst time to be on the roads. It'll be manageable. You could probably do it, especially in areas that's raining and, where it's snowing. You just have to go really slow. But yeah, it's going to be coming down at a pretty good clip. The back edge of the precip moves out Friday morning. This is an important graphic I want to walk you through here. This is going to take us hour by hour, town by town. It's really going to highlight, I think, the timing and the rainfall, I should say the type and the timing. So the rain and the snow, and where that line is going to be as far as that rain snow line. And I think this model is a pretty good handle at how it goes down. If you wake up tomorrow morning and you start to see a few flakes, even along the coastline here, that's not going to continue. I think within the first 20 miles of the coast, we're probably going to get all rain during the daylight hours. We're starting to introduce some rain first over southern and coastal zones down York County and southern New Hampshire tomorrow morning around 9 a.m. Remember, start time 9 a.m. to noon. You're still waiting on it, of course, as we go back towards central Maine, mid-coast Maine, even Lewiston, Sebago Lake area. But it's already starting to snow in the White Mountains and a good chunk of central and northern parts of New Hampshire. This is going to be a crucial time frame, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, because we're going to have to see where that rain snow line starts to sharpen up. Our best guess is that somewhere in here, probably northern Kennebec County, northern Androscoggin County, probably somewhere around Sebago Lake, maybe even bisecting the lake where the west side of the lake is getting some snow. And let's face it, again, the west side of the lake, you get up towards Douglas Mountain, you get some elevation there. And this is going to be an elevation-driven storm. Some of those areas where you get elevation, that's going to promote some more snow. While the east and south side of the lake, as you get down towards Wyndham, perhaps, it's probably going to be raining there. So this, again, is 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The other thing to note, other than the rain snow line, is also the intensity of the rainfall. So while the precip starts off fairly light during the morning, early afternoon, it's going to come down. Where it's snowing, you could be looking at 1 to 2 inches of snow per hour. Where it's raining, it's going to be coming down, raining cats and dogs here. This is the yellows and oranges indicate some heavy bursts of rain where temps right around 40 degrees. As we go farther inland here, some heavy bursts of snow that's indicated by the darker shades of blue. Now, things really start to change tomorrow evening. And again, we've been highlighting within the first 20 miles of the coastline, 15, 20 miles or so, you'll probably stay all rain during the daylight hours tomorrow. So every time you look out the window, it's my guess you're looking at raindrops in that zone there. Things get a little different farther inland. But that rain snow line is going to make an attempt at least to get all the way to the coastline, probably during the early evening hours. And a few things are coming to play here as the storm kind of winds up and starts to pull away. It's going to drag down some cooler air. But we're also going into the nighttime hours, so the sun setting around 4 p.m. And as we lose some of the solar influence from the sun during the day, this is when it's really going to start to pile up as well. So it's one of those evenings, if you live, within the first 10 miles of the coast, where you're probably looking at rain all day, and all of a sudden you start seeing those big, fat, wet snowflakes the size of waffles. They'll be coming down at a pretty good clip, I think, for maybe a couple hours. So I think it's a little too late, though, as far as accumulations at the coastline. My guess is the peninsulas and islands across mid-coast Maine don't see any accumulation. Coastal York County doesn't see any accumulation. Seacoast New Hampshire misses out on it. But, parts of Casco Bay, you'll probably see some light accumulations there. But that rain snow line is at least going to attempt to get all the way down to the coastline, which is, it's going to make for a pretty tricky forecast as far as snowfall amounts go, because where that rain snow line is, say for instance, if it's snowing 2 inches per hour in this window right here, that really could add up very quickly, and in some cases a lot quicker than maybe forecast. So the area to really watch, I think, is going to be in this area in Androscoggin, maybe southern Kennebec County, this area right here, where there's a battle between rain and snow for the entire day. If for some reason that changes over to snow, even an hour earlier or maybe an hour later, that's certainly going to affect some of your snowfall totals. But there you are, 6 o'clock in the evening. I think the back edge is starting to shift to the east between 9 p.m. and midnight. So the whole thing is starting to wind down tomorrow night. There we are at 9 o'clock. Was trying to get some of that wet snow all the way down to the coastline. Also note the temperatures are marginal. So it might have a hard time accumulating, kind of one of those deals where it's 34 and snowing, and it really has to come down at a good clip for it to accumulate. So for that reason, it's probably not a blockbuster for a good chunk of at least, the coastal plain. Farther inland, though, it's going to pile up, though. 7 o'clock in the morning Friday, yeah, some sun returns. Good-looking day Friday. Outdoor plans, we're in good shape. The lake effect snow is really going to start cranking as we go back towards, Lake Erie and Lake Ontario. And I was talking to Emily about this earlier. It's always fun to see some of that lake effect snow coming off of Lake Ontario this time of year when the water temperature is very, very warm. and you have 20-degree, teens and 20s come as far as air temperatures going over the warmer lakes, you get pretty intense lake effect snow off of Lake Ontario that comes into the white into New York, and they enhance in the Adirondacks. So they go up the mountains and they enhance, and then they sort of fall apart. And sometimes they enhance again in the Green Mountains in Vermont and fall apart, and then they'll enhance again in the White Mountains in New Hampshire. So I wouldn't be shocked to see some showers getting going, late week as far as snow goes. Snow showers late week into the weekend that originate from lake effect snow off of Lake Ontario. So that'll be fun to watch, mostly in the mountains, but I don't know, just kind of a weather nerd thing that's sometimes happens. That's kind of exciting. As far as snowfall amounts tomorrow, let's go through this again. At the coastline, I don't think we're going to get much here, and anything at all. Coastal York County, maybe southern coastal Cumberland County. The peninsulas and islands across mid-coast Maine, I think you miss out on as well. Portland, I could see a coating, maybe a coating to an inch in spots here. But yeah, coating to 2 in that lightest shade of blue. That's how I think it's going to work. The battle line, where if this forecast really busts at a big level, it's probably going to be in this area here. So everywhere from Lewiston to Augusta to Sebago Lake, I think you'll get into the 2 to 4 range because you will get some rainfall for part of the day on your Thursday, but that rain snow line may waffle for a little bit, and the trend is for it to be slowly working its way east during the afternoon, evening. Regardless, though, whether you're getting rain or snow, 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. you either get heavy rain or heavy snowfall, and it's going to be tough driving. Where it's snowing, it's you have to go slow. Where we have heavy rainfall, will be of course more manageable, but you'll have to go slow there as well. But areas that will get the most, I think, will be in the hills and mountains. And from Freiburg down to northern York County, you're involved in this as well. And I think those of you in Bridgeton, perhaps, you'll get in the 4 to 8. Northern Androscoggin County up towards Livermore, maybe down to Turner, probably just north of you there in green. But northern Kennebec County, you get in that 4 to 8 range. And this goes up to Route 2 for Farmington J area. See it right there. This goes all the way down to Conway, Madison. Madison always actually, I stand corrected. Madison will get in the 4 to 8, and they'll probably end up on the upper end of that in New Hampshire because they get some elevation there. But there'll be spots that get 6 to 10. There'll be spots that get a foot, I think. Higher elevations. So 6 to 10, half foot to a foot will be portions of the White Mountains. This goes up into the Rangeley area. And this also extends right up to, Carrabassett Valley, Sugarloaf. Sunday River may sneak into that area. Some of the ski resorts, a lot of the great ski resorts will really benefit from this storm. And to be more specific, elevation driven areas. So the valleys themselves probably won't get as much as you get up in elevation, where it's a little bit colder. It's not quite as compact, and it's a pasty wet snow. So it's one of those deals where the higher up you are, the colder it is, and the fluffier the snow is, and there, of course, piles up a little bit more. The other thing that's worthy of note, the winds don't look extreme. We'll probably get some gusts around 25 to maybe 20, 25 miles per hour, and maybe as high as 30 miles per hour late Thursday night. But areas that get even 4 inches of snow, and it's going to be a pasty wet snow. We saw this in the April storm where it rains first and then you have snow on top of that. I mean, it makes for a beautiful look to the trees, right? All the snow accumulates in the trees and, it's really pretty. Everything's white. But when it sticks to everything, it could start weighing down some of the branches. And I'm not going to rule out some scattered outages. I don't think it's a widespread situation. It's very different than that April storm that you might remember. We had, some areas had 16 inches of snow in that event. And it was a very, very heavy, wet, pasty snow. And, there were more outages than the ice storm in 1998. That was last April. I want to say it was first week April. I can't remember. 5th, maybe? Don't hold me to that, but I remember it well. But as far as I remember what happened well. I don't remember the date very well. That's what we're thinking for snow. Now, this is just a rain tracker. Disregard a lot of this. A lot of this is falling as snow, so completely disregard that. But what's happening here is the coastal plain, all the way back to parts of southern Androscoggin County, even Kennebec County. These areas are probably going to get 1 inch to 1.25 inches of rain. So this is a respectable amount of rain that we're looking at here. for tomorrow. So we were just it was just last week. We're saying, is it ever going to rain again? Fire danger is high. The drought conditions are high. So I don't know. Drought always ends with a big rain event. So here we go. But we need some rain before the ground freezes, and this will be good. Speaking of ground freezing, wait to see the 7-day in a minute. Lows tonight, there they are. They're right around 30. Tomorrow, the rain and snow gets going. I like this graphic because it shows the rain and the snow in the distance. Isn't that cool? It's just a computer-generated rain and snow there. You see, farther inland, your snowflakes, and at the coastline, you have some rain. It actually shows a little lightning strike as well. That'd be cool if we got some lightning. Not going to rule that out. If we do, it's probably mid-afternoon. That would be fun. So Thursday features rain. Your Thanksgiving, Turkey's not thrilled, of course, but during the daylight hours, coastal areas, you'll get all rain. You may see a few wet snowflakes at the onset, but you'll see that change over very quickly. And if you see any snow, as far as accumulating snow at the coast, it's during the evening hours, just before it ends, evening into early nighttime. Friday, Saturday, Sunday all look pretty good. Temperatures will be in the 30s and low 40s. That 43 is going to feel balmy in comparison to what we have heading our way next week. We have highs in the low 30s with lows in the teens. Your inland forecast is even colder. So tomorrow's a weather-worn day for snow over inland parts of Maine and New Hampshire. And again, the most impactful time range is going to be the afternoon and into the evening. But look at the temperatures. I've been talking to a lot of folks. I talked to 2 people within the last 2 days to say, Charlie, I want the ponds to freeze up for ice fishing because we had such a lousy winter last winter for ice fishing. And this is really going to get the ball rolling. Nighttime temps in the teens, daytime highs in the low 30s. You're going to start to really see what happens there as far as the ice start to freeze up. So good stuff there for ice fishing at least. I knew somebody would come up with this. Kelly says 4th and 5th. All right, 4th and 5th. So it's the 4th into the 5th. Well done, Kelly. Thank you. Portland snow. If you do, Gabe, it's during the evening. Not much. Coding 2. All right. Let's see here. Our power outage potential, Joseph says. Let me change the graphic just to get anybody to join us. Thanks, of course, joining us tonight on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, wherever you are tonight. Let's go to the timing graphic real quick. I can answer some of your questions real quick here, too. Power outage potential. Let's see. Where I think you're good, Joseph. It's not like the storm we had a few years ago where everybody was without power on Thanksgiving. No, you're good to go. Coastal areas get all rain during the day. I think you're fine. And we're not going to get enough snow during the day that the power outage really starts cranking up. Everybody's asking for their town. I love it. Monica, if you see any snow in Brunswick, it's during the evening. It's and maybe a coating to an inch or something. I wouldn't think that snow is a big deal for you in Brunswick. Although I do know that the north side of Brunswick Bath gets a lot more snow than the south side. I have a buddy that lives there. He always points that out. Shout out Jeff if you're on here. All right, Hiram. Oh, Hiram. Let's go look at Hiram. Hiram gets in the 4 to 8. Pretty close to the 4 to 8. So Hiram's right up in here. Yeah, somewhere in the upper end of the 2 to 4, lower end of the 4 to 8. Although there's some elevation to Hiram too, so you never know there. I love that Kelly got that for me. Thanks, Kelly. Could you be scattered ones, but not everyone? I don't know what that means, Fran. Could be scattered ones, but not everyone. Everything is possible. I like it. Everything is possible. Yeah, this forecast is going to bust somewhere. I can guarantee that. Possible power outage, Livermore Falls. I think you have low chance for power outages area-wide, but Livermore Falls, if you get 5 inches of snow and the wind picks up, you could see some scattered outages. That wouldn't happen until the nighttime hours, though, Becky. Conditions Sanford, maybe a coating to an inch. I think it's rain all day for you, Allie. All right. Sugarloaf looks to cash in. You got it, Klein. Should be a good storm for Sugarloaf. Already, I mean, the base there is at 2,000 feet. So, yeah, Sugarloaf should definitely get some snow. Power outages in southern Maine, Allie. Yeah, I don't think so. I think scatter maybe. Shouldn't be a huge deal. Wind is not going to be that strong. That's the reason I mentioned that. Happy Thanksgiving, Diane. Appreciate it. I hope waffles fall from the sky. Yeah, that's right. Brian is talking about, I said you'll get snowflakes the size of waffles coming down tomorrow evening. You ever see that though? When it's raining, you get heavy rain, all of a sudden, boom, the snow mixes in, you get these giant flakes. I mean, they could get to be the size of like this microphone shield here. They're huge. Sometimes that happens. Love that. I could go for a waffle too. That rain snow line will be waffling throughout the day as well. Gardner gets into the 2 to 4, I think, Eric. 2 to 4. And you'll see that rain snow line is going to play games with you. It's going to rain, I think, for a while there in Gardner before the changeover tomorrow. So, yep. This is, you may be looking at this tomorrow saying, Charlie, you are way off the mark. Let's hope not. But that rain snow line is tricky. We'll see how it goes. Please keep the snow and slush away. I'm with you. Let's keep it away. Keep it in the mountains where they want it, where they need it right now. Actually, I stand corrected. I wouldn't mind a couple inches in my house. I'd be fine with that. Could drive over it. Don't have to shovel it. That's my kind of snow. All right, let's go with that tonight. Oh, Henry checking in. Hey, congrats, Henry, on the new Weathermobile. If you guys have a sec, check out Henry's Weather Channel. He has he's one of the local weather spotters here in New England, and weather chasers. And Henry always gets some great video with his drone. So nice to see you on here, Henry. Oh, he's in Kentucky tonight. All right. Well, enjoy Kentucky. You're not missing much. Be back for the next snowstorm. All right. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Jennifer. Appreciate it. Bangor area, is it going to start after 3? Huh. That's a great question, Crystal. I don't know that. I haven't really focused on Bangor much because our viewing area goes up to about Waterville, and I just haven't focused in on it much. So let's take a look. So yeah, Bangor, I think you're pretty close to 3. Here you are, 2 o'clock. There's the rain coming in, 2, 3 o'clock. You're good, Crystal. 2, 3 o'clock, you have some rain coming in. I don't think you'll get much snow. If you get any snow, it's at night, Crystal, up in Bangor. So you'll be fine there. All right. I think I answered everybody's question. Did I do it? Oh, there you go. You want to know in Waterboro. Waterboro. All right. So Waterboro, you probably want to know about snow. Waterboro is not going to get much snow. Waterboro is right about here. Oh, no, it's not really working. Hold on. Can't get my marker tool. There it is. Yeah, right in there. 2 to 4. 2 to 4 for you. But it'll be raining for most of the day. It'll be late in the day. It'll change over. Angelica, I hope that answers your question. What are the expected temperatures at the start of rainfall? Good. 40 degrees, Cody. It's going to be in the low 40s. Morning highs will be in the low 40s. It's a slow decrease in temperature all day long. Yeah, chilly, wet, and raw. Just what we like, right? Hey, it was 2 weeks ago. We're in the 60s and 70s. Remember that? Oh, you're welcome, Angelica. Angelica, I love that names. All right. Holly is planning on driving to Andover, Maine tomorrow. Huh. All right. Andover. Andover's going to get some decent snowfall. Andover's probably going to get in that half-foot range at least. Maybe 6 to 8, somewhere in there. You get up in elevation, maybe a little bit more there. All right. I think I got everybody. All right. Let's leave it at that tonight. If you're just joining us, let's just run through the timing again one more time. I think this is the most important thing. Let's go back to this graphic. Starts 9 a.m. to noon. Heaviest 1 p.m. to 8 p.m., whether it's rain or snow. That rain snow line crashes to the coast probably around 6 p.m. And the leftover rain and snow ends 9 p.m. to midnight. There we go. We're going to leave it at that tonight. Of course, we'll have more updates coming up on CBS 1311, Fox 23 at 10. Emily is in with some more updates first thing tomorrow morning. And meteorologist Ryan Munn will be in the afternoon when things start to ramp up. So I think things ramp up as far as the heavy rain and the heavy snow afternoon and early nighttime hours. All right. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Take care.